Hello everyone, I hope you all are well and staying sane during this lockdown season. I don't know if you're anything like I am, but I'm struggling with this staying in malarkey. I like to be busy and be helping people, and it's frustrating times, it's confusing times, and for some of us it's disappointing times. Some of us had exams to do, some of us had papers to do, some of us had shows and concerts and things that we'd booked for months ahead. We all had plans that we prepared for, we'd revised for, we'd studied and sacrificed our time, but none of them seemed to be turning out the way that we expected or that we hoped. And that's a bit scary. It's a bit frustrating. For me, during this lockdown season, I've been challenged to pick up my Bible and try and read it a bit more. So I've been reading the book of Luke, and I thought I'd start with a Christmas story. That's my favourite season, favourite time of year. And actually I noticed throughout the book of Luke that every time Angel Gabriel appears to deliver some heavenly message or to talk to Mary, Joseph, or even to the shepherds in the hills, that his opening line to every single one is, "Do not be afraid." And that's pretty cool, because that's like the first words God says to us, is "do not be afraid." And they're the first words he says to the people whose lives he's about to completely flip upside down and challenge. And actually throughout the Bible, and lots of the events recorded, that when God speaks or angels have arrived, that the opening line is, "do not be afraid." And I've been thinking about it. Actually, how cool is that? How encouraging is it to know that to those people, the first thing God says to them is, "do not be afraid." And actually that's what God says to us. He tells us not to be afraid. And as Christians, sometimes we find that really hard and really challenging, because actually there are some things that are pretty scary. There are some things that we are afraid of. I know Phoebe talked about that last week in her video. But God's heart and God's message to us is to not be afraid. And there's another verse in the Bible that we can use to help us with that, and it's 1 Peter 5 verse 7, and it says, "Give all your worries to him. Give all your worries, cast all your anxieties and your feelings to him, because he cares for us." And that's kind of what I wanted to remind you during this kind of uncertainty and frustration, is that God tells us not to be afraid. He says, give me all your worries, because I care for you. And he does. So I'm going to pray. And God, I just pray and ask that you are with us this season, that you know all the situations that have been going on in our lives, and all the things that we prepared for, and all the things that we'd revised for, and all this uncertainty about the efforts that we've put in, that you are a God who hears us, who doesn't want us to be burdened and bogged down with fear, because you care for us. Thank you for caring for us. Amen.